Ja, ich halte einfach das Ende fest, genau. So, das ist noch so.
Ich muss festhalten.
Constantin and his girlfriend Regina have arrived, and we are getting ready for a new adventure. We are in late August, and up north the weather starts becoming less stable. We have a window of passable weather for a few days, and we set out to make the best out of it.
Beine los!
Before we leave Tromsø for a couple of days, we are just having to go and fill up our tanks, or our fuel tank, to have it nice and full so we can do whatever we like. For that we need to go cross the bridge, go under the bridge, and then it's right after the bridge to the port side is the fuel pontoon. There's quite some current against us. We have like 3 knots of tide that is going against us already. So we're close to spring tide now. It is maybe it is springtime today. And the tide has just turned. So there's quite some fierce current. We're hardly moving. First, we return to one of our favorite places, the small floating pontoon off the island of Ryøya, which we have already showed you in episode 65 of our travel documentary. This time we joined a noisy but friendly local youth gang on their hangout, and the small pontoon gets a bit crowded. Obviously, their idea of a hangout does not exactly match our expectations of a quiet and peaceful evening. But hey ho, once the sun sets they leave and we enjoy a calm and peaceful night.
Wir waren zuerst fischen but we didn't catch anything. So now we're just making steaks that we bought at the supermarket, and we're currently making the fire. But we thought we didn't have enough coal to make the fire, but I think this is going to be enough. So we're just waiting for that.
This morning we leave in a slight drizzle, but the forecast is that it will clear up later in the day, and we are hopeful to see the sun again. Today's destination is a protected anchorage behind the island of Hestøya, near Givostad, where we intend to spend the night at the hook.
Genau, ja.
We have quite some katabatic winds, some gusts, 22 knots coming from the south, and that's just, if you look outside you see the mountains where the wind is just dropping down. So here there is this wind, but I think in a couple of 100 meters it's going to be over because the sea is flat out here. And here we are back to 7 knots, it's all over. It's really very, very local where the wind blows. So no wind to sail for us. And it's just these small areas where the wind gusts down the mountains where there is some wind. But otherwise it's calm so far. Now the wind has turned from the opposite side with 11 knots, so it's just doing whatever it wants, but we're used to that, and that's why we're using the engine, because we're lazy, it's just too hard work. So we're in actually not so nice weather. Down here it looks quite rainy and the visibility is just moderate, I would say. But as a matter of fact, this is the 3rd time this season, or actually the 3rd time since we are in Norway, that we have weather like this. Okay, sometimes we didn't sail when it was forecast like this, but it's the 3rd time only we sail in rain, basically. Otherwise it always has been nice and sunny and warm. Today the weather forecast is correct. Soon the rain fades and the sun comes out. Constantin's must-to-do list for this trip contains 3 items: to catch a fish, to climb a high mountain, and to swim in the sea. We change our fishing spot, and here we are lucky. According to the Norwegian Fishing Administration, the minimum landing size for cod is 44 centimeters here. The marking on my priest confirms that this one is large enough to keep. Regina's catch, unfortunately, is too small and we let it go. But with his catch, Constantin can tick off the fishing item from his list. And yes, sorry dear Norwegian fishermen, the filleting massacre continues as I try to show our second son how to properly prepare a fish for the galley.
Too small. Cool als Headset, oder? Marriage saver.
Pretty practical, I can imagine. When you're front and back with wind, it's a lot easier to just speak at a normal tone and not have to scream all over the deck.
Or make any hand sign.
Yeah, it's a lot more calm and a lot more practical. And you can hear it quite well. It's surprising with the wind and the gust, apparently it still works quite well. I mean, I can understand Daniel perfectly fine. I think it's a good idea.
Arriving in the Anchorage, we check the tide on the Imre Tides Planner app and make a few circles to sound out the depth and to find the best spot to drop the anchor. As every sailor will know, estimating distances on the water is extremely difficult. Even with the marriage savers on our ears, Catherine and I can never agree on a number, and in most instances we both are far off reality. Yes, we could use the radar to measure the distance to the shoreline, but this handy laser distance meter, a gadget commonly used by hunters, eliminates any doubt on how close we really are. Once the anchor has set, it's time to drive it in. This procedure digs our 33 kilogram Rockna anchor deep into the ground and gives me great assurance that the holding is good. For me, this is essential for a peaceful sleep at night. 2,150 eben, ja. 2,350, aber hebt, oder?
It's a beautiful morning.
And how was your night?
very nice. In one direction there was quite a bit of waves, but then in the other direction of the current there was completely glassy ocean as it is now, and so we slept really well. Really calm, nothing fancy happened. Anchor chain held up, and yeah, had a nice morning. Regina and Catherine already went for a swim, avoiding all the jellyfish, and Daniel and I didn't. It's too cold.
How cold was it? Or is
I
it?
think 13 degrees we measured. Water temperature. That's a bit too cold for me.
And the morning was really nice with our swim. It was really refreshing and I liked it.
Yeah. You did very well, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Really a jump in.
Yeah.
Schön in der Fähring-Leine können.
Nicht mit Fähring-Leine.
Also mit der Strömung nicht wirklich.
Constantin is a very creative mind, and with his background as an excellent dinghy sailor, he's also a very good boat handler in general. If there exist 100 ways to berth a boat, surely he will find yet another one, which sometimes raises my anxiety level.
Having caught my fish and it being too windy for a comfy sail, we leave Tromsø by foot to tick off the second item on my to-do list: hike up a high mountain. Kjølen, with its peak around 800 meters, is perfect for this. It's the highest mountain of the northern section of Ryøya. Well connected by bus, we arrive at the start point and traverse bushy fields where the local school kids are picking berries for their cooking class. Something like this didn't exist in our curriculum back at home. Made it to the first lake!
Are you going for a swim?
For me it's
Regina?
I don't think so. I don't have a towel with me.
Oh,
But I think if I would, I might go.
okay. Maybe on the way down.
Yeah, maybe.
Ja. So, und welcher Berg ist unser?
Da drüben irgendwo. Also es geht gar nicht, ich glaube der da oben schlussendlich.
Ah,
Ja. Wir gehen
Der?
jetzt so hinten hoch und dann dort hoch und dann so, glaube ich.
Ah, dort spaziert jemand. Dort,
Ja, genau.
dort, ja. Okay.
Higher up the mountain, fields are replaced with scree, a mass of small loose stones that cover a slope on a mountain. Small pieces move as we walk over them, making the hike all the more exhausting. With each step of the way, the wind picks up, but luckily there is a cabin on the top where we can eat our lunch in peace. In the absence of a summit book, people leave their notes on small slabs of rock. The views up here are spectacular, and the sun playing with the clouds adds to the drama of the scenery.
Soll ich noch das Gipfelfoto machen? Video. Das ist eine Wetterstation. Ja. Komisch, dass da so andere Beschaffenheiten hat. Ja, das ist das Wolfsgras, ja.
Wie kleine Feen schauen die
Ja.
irgendwie aus mit so Haaren.
Ah, die finde ich sehr.
Ihr kennt das noch. Ja, schön weich. On the way down, we even come across some reindeer grazing. This is the first time Regina and I have ever seen a reindeer, so we were very excited. All in all, the hike was amazing and really gave us a taste of the Norwegian outdoors. We definitely want to come back to explore more in the future. last box to be ticked is to swim in the sea. But since I'm not as tough as Regina, I demand a sauna before the cold plunge. I don't think it's cheating, but having a sauna directly in our backyard is a luxury we won't miss out on.
Say you found the story all tucked away.
As the wind is forecast to pipe up for the next few days, Polaris stays safe in the city harbour of Tromsø, and we hire a car for an exploration of the beautiful island of Senja. We leave Tromsø and head to Brensholmen, from where the car ferry takes us across to Bottenham on Senja, before we will continue to drive across the island to the small fishing village of Husøy. Already on the car ferry, we find out that this was a wise decision, as gale force winds greet us on the deck. Imagine a place where nature rules with an iron grip, where the wind howls like a restless spirit and the sea stretches endlessly to the horizon. This is Husøy, a tiny but tenacious village on the island of Senja. Life here is not for the faint-hearted. The people of Husøy know the wind like an old friend, sometimes kind, often fierce. It is so powerful that homes here are anchored with steel cables, keeping them grounded against the Arctic's fury. Without them, roofs would vanish into the sea. We are glad that today the wind is rather benign. We explore this small place and walk up to the lighthouse, which stands as a beacon of safety, guiding fishermen through treacherous waters. The sea is both their livelihood and their greatest challenge. Unlike many fading villages, this community has endured, embracing modern industry while holding on to its traditions. And it seems its future is safe, as we see many children playing outdoors, enjoying their freedom. Beyond Husøy, Senja's wild beauty unfolds, towering peaks, deep fjords and endless wilderness. A paradise for adventurers shaped by time and tide.